That's something else that pisses me off about this generation and this, well, I'm the main and she's a side chick. You should want to be the one and only. Why is that acceptable? Or why does that feel like, oh, you're on a high horse and better than thou if you're the main, if you're the one he comes home to? Like, he coming home to you with a lot of little things up in there.
Head high, chest up, and catch that frame, cause beauty is my name.
Funny seeing you here. What up, y'all? African Beauty here, and today I'm back with another late night vent session. Y'all liked my last one so much. That was a lot of tea that I spilled though, so understandably so why you guys enjoyed it so much. For those who are new to my channel, my late night vent sessions is the time where I like to unwind, you know, take off my makeup, wipe it off, but also vent about some things that just irk me. Today's topic I actually talked about, oh wait, before I even hop into the tea, or whatever you want to call today's video. If you're new to Beauty Gang and you never heard of us, sis, we don't know you've been at what. We are so glad that you found us. This Beauty Gang is hella stupid lit over here. If you don't believe me, go check the comment section below and you will see multiple Beauty Gang members vouching for the fact that we're hella stupid lit. So after that, go to the subscribe button and the bell button so you're notified each time I post a new video. Without further ado, let's hop into this vent session, sis. Alright, y'all, so first and foremost, I really hope you guys had a really good weekend before we just hop into, you know, a whole bunch of tea. And it's not gossip, but you know, late night vent sessions, I understand, can sometimes be controversial. So this is my personal opinion. It's my paradigm, it's my perspective about different topics. You have yours, I have mine. If you don't agree with it, that's cool, just stay respectful. So today's late night vent session, I actually been wanting to do for a while now. I actually discussed it with my Beauty Gang on Instagram Live not too long ago. Kind of just a glimpse of it. Ooh, that lace is kind of pulling a little too much, okay? I love these freaking lashes. Feel so beautiful in them, but they gotta come off. Your girl is tired. But yeah, I was on Instagram Live maybe like earlier this week. I talked to Beauty Gang a little bit and the topic kind of came up because I was asking them what late night vent session topic, what they want me to talk about. I gave an option between this one about like how females, we have the tendency to apologize way too much, like over apologize for things we shouldn't even be saying sorry for. Or what was the other one? I think it was like toxic friends or blah, blah, blah. Either way, this is the one that a whole bunch of people like really wanted me to comment on. And we actually ended up talking for a decent amount of time on Instagram Live too about the topic. But long story short, my perspective of this issue, or whatever you want to call it, I guess from my point of view, it's disheartening to see the people kind of at the forefront of our culture, I guess you could say, don't always have the best representation of what a relationship should be. That's not to say that anybody's relationship is perfect. You know, I'm personally the first one to say that, and me and Josh, we have a couples channel and we are always keeping it very transparent about the struggles we've experienced in our relationship, blah, blah, blah. What I've noticed though about the culture of these, I guess mainstream Instagram baddies or whatever, a lot of them deal with rich men. I don't know about y'all can let me know in the comment section below, but I feel like I noticed this trend or whatever where it's like these men can treat them like BS, you know, not be there emotionally, support them, can cheat on them, all types of rumors go flying, but as long as they're buying them Birkin bags, taking them on first class trips or like private jets, stuff like that, it's like all is forgiven, and that just confuses me. I don't know about y'all, but that is just not, I think I have a very kind of, I wouldn't say I have an old school perspective. No, I don't have an old school perspective when it comes to relationship. I just have like a loyalty and respect perspective. And I just feel like the examples that we see on social media every day in the mainstream, like I said, is just very interesting to me. And I do want to be very clear because somebody had brought up a good point on Instagram Live and I was talking about it like, you know, it's important not to judge people, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, the word judge is interesting because if I'm being honest with myself, I guess it technically is judging. That's where my opinion is formulated from. But I wouldn't say that it's judging like in a negative way. I think if the judge is happening, it's more so like, girl, you deserve better. Like you should have higher standards and expectations. And that's what I was kind of talking about on Instagram Live, how I just wish that us women did collectively better with having expectations and standards of partners that if they go anywhere below it is unacceptable. Like we're out. It takes a while to get to that point. I will say like I do, what is the word? Empathize. Yeah, empathize to an extent. Not so much sympathize, but I empathize to an extent because I haven't always been, see, it's so easy to take off my makeup. I don't wear much, but I haven't always been in like a super healthy, non-infidelity relationship. So I've definitely been on both sides, and I can understand how sometimes, you know, some people might stay because of history. Now we're talking about average dudes, because I ain't never date no rich dude. But you know, like some of us girls will just stay for a lot of different reasons. History reasons, after somebody does us bogus, by the way, is what I'm saying. It can be a matter of history and longevity, how long you've been with the person. It can be because you don't feel like you can get any better. I know I'm kind of bouncing everywhere with this topic, by the way, y'all, because I feel so many different ways about it. At the end of the day, my overall grand scope of things is that I just wish that girls did better with who they decided to ride for, if that makes sense. Like I said, I know that no relationship is perfect. Everybody's relationship has ups and downs, roller coasters, all that stuff. But it's just, I think that there should be a line. There should be a very set boundary on what is and isn't acceptable. Like the stuff that I be seeing, in particular on the Shade Room, I won't lie, that's where I get my tea a lot of the times, y'all. That is like my news source. It's pretty bad. But, you know, the Shade Room, 1 minute is posting about how one of the many rich dudes cheated on his girl or got somebody else pregnant, blah, blah, blah. And then like maybe, what, a week later or less, somebody wakes up to a Birkin bag, or somebody has a new car, or somebody wakes up to like $100,000 stacks in cash. Just that's where I kind of like was saying, I kind of have a little bit of old school mentality in the sense where that stuff doesn't impress me. A couple people brought up a good point though in the live too, that everybody's paradigm is different, everybody's perspective is different based off how they were raised, and that is absolutely true. But I did also bring up the fact that when you get to a certain age, I do feel like you have a choice in life to decide what is right and what is wrong, what you will and won't accept. And obviously I'm speaking from a perspective of like, I never saw my mom get disrespected. I never saw my parents argue in a way that was toxic or anything like that. So I'm sure that kind of forms the scope of my mentality when it comes to this type of stuff. But I just find it so disappointing because there's so many amazing women out here. And in particular, the women I'm kind of talking about, like they're bosses. They got good things going for themselves. And I'm just like, why do you want to stay with a dude that makes you a main and not the one and only? That's something else that pisses me off about this generation and this, well, I'm the main and she's a side chick. You should want to be the one and only. Why is that acceptable? Or why does that feel like, oh, you're on a high horse and better than thou if you're the main, if you're the one he comes home to? Like, he coming home to you with a lot of little things up in there. But I won't say anything else more than that. I think that a lot of times when I think about topics like this, I have a niece. She just turned 17, and obviously like I'm kind of like that big sister figure to her because we're not like a huge gap apart, niece and auntie wise. When I think of different things like this and topics and just relationships, how men treat women or how women allow men to treat them and stuff, it's so important for me to ingrain in her like, nah, there's a boundary and expectation you are allowed to have of a partner, and if they sink under it, then you need to leave. You know what I mean? And that's something else that I talked about with my best friends a lot too, of how like, you know, a lot of us women tend to threaten, you know, like let's say somebody cheats on you, you guys have a little falling out, then come back together. A lot of times that happens. You have this talk, he swears he's not gonna do it again, blah, 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 blah. That's when the girl usually threatens, like, if this happens again, I'm out of here, blah, 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 right? Fast forward, happens again. The difference between people who not only set boundaries and expectations in their relationship but also stick to them is a person who will stick to it will really leave if they do it again. That's me. A person who does not stick to it will go through the cycle. It's like an ongoing cycle. And when you keep accepting the crap, it will keep happening. He's not gonna stop. This is not just like the mainstream people I was talking about. I'm talking about just average everyday relationships. It's unacceptable for somebody to keep crossing your boundaries, but it's also unacceptable for you to keep letting them. Maybe I should say that again. It is unacceptable for people to keep crossing your boundaries, but it's also just as bad if you allow them to. Ask yourself this actually, because you know, late night businesses are really transparent. How many of y'all truly have a list of like requirements, like or your expectations of your partners? I highly suggest, if y'all don't have it, do it. A lot of people are oftentimes like, how did you find Josh? Blah, blah. Kind of like, I laugh at it because a lot of people were saying that for Sierra and Russell Wilson. That's a perfect example because Future, she was with, he ain't ish, cheated, blah, 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 right? She gave him up because a lot of us women don't think there's better out there. Honey, there is. She gave him up and look what she has found. People want to know the prayer that she had for that man. So I'm just like, that's something that I for sure feel like tied into how I ended up with somebody like Josh. I'm a really big manifestation person, and I do that by writing things down. So it's funny because I gave Josh a memory box maybe our year or two of our relationship that had this list of like expectations slash what I want and what I need from my partner. And I made that maybe junior or senior year of high school, or maybe freshman. Either way, I know I for sure made the list before even meeting Josh. So I manifested him before even knowing him. Does that make sense? Because I wrote down what I wanted from a man. I feel like I might just have to show you guys a glimpse of it. Or read y'all a glimpse. Yes, y'all need to see this because this is serious. I really want you guys to want more and better for yourself and know that you deserve it. So hold that. I'm gonna just give y'all some examples. I'll keep it at a distance because you know it's kind of private, you know, but I made a list. I'm really like about that life, y'all. So full list, and I made this in 2014, so it was freshman year of college then. So just a couple things, I'll give y'all a couple things that are on my list. I'm really giving y'all tea right now. Hope you are really taking notes. So I put a guy that will protect me, meaning my mind, body, soul, and heart. Even that first one, okay? Your girl at, how old was I? Like 18, 19, already knew what I expected from my partner. I think a lot of guys, when they think of protecting their woman, they think of it in a very physical sense, right? When I say that, I don't just mean it in a physical sense, like if somebody tries me, you'll like defend me, you know? I mean also my heart. For example, me and Josh is one of his friends or whatever might get in like a bickering match or whatever over something stupid. I used to have a kind of an attitude with him afterwards, not wanting him to necessarily jump in and go at it with his friend, but more so just me as your woman, protect me in the sense of like speaking up like, all right, bro, it's going too far. All right, let's cut the situation, you know? Like I didn't feel protected. He's gotten a lot better at that. Like I said, we've been in this 5 years. This was like in the beginning of our relationship. So I'm just giving an example of protecting. When you say that about having somebody that protects you, don't just think of it in such a kind of like literal sense. It's literally and figuratively speaking. Protect all of me. Also protecting means don't make me look stupid. Don't play me. Don't have other people chit-chatting behind my back. That was stuff that pissed me off so much with my exes. So somebody that will protect me. Okay, something else. I'm gonna just kind of grab a couple just so y'all can get a kind of gist of like what I mean by setting your boundaries and expectations of people. What's another good one? Oh, I have on here a guy that in capital letters won't make me look stupid. Meaning, I put this, meaning no hoes laughing at me because he's entertaining them. Not being timid to express his love for me and always has my back before and above anybody else no matter what. I know I'm jumping everywhere, but I was gonna say too, when you're making this list for yourself, if you're really serious about it, because I really hope some of y'all are gonna be making a list after this if you don't already have one. But when you're making this list, there is a difference between like realistic and unrealistic expectations or standards of a partner. So the easy example I use for me personally, I really wrote out things that I needed, like things that will feed my person, you know, help me grow as a person or make me feel happy in a relationship, stuff like that. Not necessarily things that I wanted. I feel like sometimes people cross paths with things they want versus things they need and don't realize that there's a clear difference. So the things I wrote down were things I needed from a partner. For example, though, a thing that I might want is somebody to take me on a date once a week type stuff. I'm not saying that that's unrealistic. I'm saying that's more of a want. That's not something that you need from somebody in order to be fulfilled. You know what I mean? But anyway, another thing I wrote that I had an expectation of, a guy that will support me in everything I do. Sports, huge life decisions, etc. I also put a guy that cares about me and my feelings. It's all too often where us girls express ourselves. If you're expressing yourself to your partner constantly about stuff that might hurt your feelings, stuff that they're doing, whatever, and it's just a shoulder shrug or like, oh, you get over it, or that's on you, like that's your problem. That's not him. That's not the one, sis. I'll tell you right now, that ain't the one. Somebody who truly cares about you and values you will listen no matter, even if it sounds outlandish and crazy. I know there's tons of things I have told Josh before that's just like, girl, you are doing too much, blah, blah, blah. He's never made me feel that way. It's so important to have a partner who's willing to be understanding of how you feel, even if they can't, I guess, understand it. Does that make sense? Like, just be understanding in the sense of like, okay, I hear you. We have different perspectives, but I get it, or I'm trying to get it. Somebody like that, you can go a really long way with. Something else that I put, a guy that isn't mean or rude to me. In parentheses, doesn't hurt my feelings or kill my spirit with words or actions. Y'all, I cannot tell you how many times I have seen men who's with a woman be mean, just mean-spirited to their woman. I'm appalled because I'm just like, you wouldn't even treat your own friend like this, and you treating somebody that you either go home to every day or that you emotionally dump on frequently, like just your partner, you're mean to, like that just doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said, these are very realistic expectations and standards I have of my partner. I expect you to be nice to me. I expect you to act like you actually like me. That's something me and Josh kind of touched on in a recent video we did on our channel, of just how like people will, because we constantly get the question of, how do you know somebody's interested in you? How do you know somebody likes you? People prove to you every single day with their actions how they really feel about you. Hear me now, hear me clear. I love when Josh says this, but for real, hear me now, hear me clear. If somebody likes you, you will know it. You know why you'll know it? Because they will be very intentional with how they treat you. Somebody who's like not really sure how they feel about you, or maybe they don't really care at all. Let's be real, because some of these dudes just don't care, ladies. Those are the times where you're gonna be questioning, does he like me? Is he really interested? How does he feel about me? Just to throw some examples out there, if you're dealing with a dude that ghosts you and you're constantly wondering why, probably isn't as interested in you as you are in him. Somebody, I kid you not, somebody who really likes you and is interested will try everything in their effort to kind of keep themselves at the forefront of your brain or your mind. You know what I mean? They won't stay away for too long. They won't treat you mean. They won't put themselves in a position that you might just leave. Does that make sense? If somebody's being mean to you or ghosting you, that opens the door for you to possibly either look at somebody else or just leave. But at the same time, it's like guys kind of know how our minds work and low-key know, instead of us leaving, we'll start questioning and like, oh, he acts like this, but he also said this. Ladies, I kid you not, hear me now, hear me clear. Words don't mean shit if the actions aren't equal with it. A dude can say he cares about you, he loves you, you're the best thing that's ever happened in his life, but if he's not treating you as such, that's your answer. Like that's how he feels. That's just how he feels. It's just wild to me. I know I'm kind of hopping everywhere, but I promise you, it's not a judgmental place. I have been there too. I have been with guys who treat me like crap, who don't deserve me, like who don't know my worth, or who didn't know my worth. They would know my worth now, but your girl is taken happily. I'm saying all that to say, I just want more for us women, because I feel like the narrative for all of us who have experienced just ain't shit. Dude, just people who really don't care about us, don't value our feelings, it's all a game to them. That narrative happens entirely too much for girls. I feel like that's probably one of the top commonalities a lot of us girls experience, unfortunately. At some point we've been cheated on. I'm not saying everybody, I don't know everybody's storyline, but I know majority of the girls that I encounter and run into, that is a similarity we usually always have. We have been cheated on or treated badly at some point in time. And enough is enough. Enough is enough. There are guys out there that will treat you nice. Just nice. It's unfortunate because I feel like going back to, you know, how you were raised, how you saw your parents interact, that does shape your paradigm and stuff. And I think that's also what's so frustrating for me about the people who are in the forefront, like mainstream, because they're kind of the leaders of our culture, leaders of our generation. There's younger people, hence why I kind of brought up my niece. There's people like that that are so impressionable, or younger than her. There are children that are so impressionable in terms of their perception of what relationships is, and it just bothers me so much that like they're not gonna fully be able to comprehend, oh my gosh, he cheated on her, he dogged her out, he disclaimed her, a side chick came out with blah blah blah, but next minute she's happy on a jet with him type stuff. Like, what do you think that does to their brains? What it bothers me so much, because I pride myself so much in trying to be a very positive influence and light, be a good inspiration and role model. Again, never said I'm perfect, I'm definitely not, but I do feel like I have a pretty good, positive and healthy perspective of how relationships should be. Materialistic things does not mean shit, in case you did not know. Somebody being able to purchase things for you, that's something that's I was saying on Instagram Live. There's nothing that Josh can purchase for me that I can't purchase for myself. I do think that ties into like my paradigm though. Like, I was raised by pretty much a single parent. My dad passed away when I was younger, and even before that I always saw my mom, she was kind of the breadwinner, the provider of the family, because he was sick. That is how my mentality has become so like gung-ho on like, nah, I'm gonna be an independent woman, and that's on period. It doesn't matter who I'm with, how much money they have. Nobody can take care of me better than I can take care of myself, or I will never be reliant on a man in that way. That stems from how I was raised. I understand that not everybody has that perspective, but I just wish that everybody just had the perspective that, you know when somebody's not treating you nice. nicely. You know it. Us women, female intuition and instinct and all that stuff, it plays in different aspects of our lives, a whole bunch of different aspects. So just how like you kind of most of the time, and me and my girls always talk about this, when a guy is cheating, we know his pattern changes, he acts funny, there's a certain emotional distance there. You just know in your gut, even if you don't have the proof and you did not see it for yourself, you know. So with that same intuition or instinct or whatever, you know when somebody is not treating you well. And what I always say, and what really helped me get out of my previous relationship before Josh that was super toxic, is I had to ask myself, is this as good as love can get? However, again, like I'm saying, I understand that my answer to that question came from how I saw my dad treat my mom, or how they interacted with each other. They never had a screaming match. They never cussed each other out. There was never any physical altercation or anything. Sorry, y'all, the camera cut off for a second. But yeah, saying all that to say, they had a very healthy relationship, how they interacted with each other, treated each other. There was always a level of respect that they maintained. And it's interesting because although he passed away when I was young, even my younger years, seeing how they interacted with each other, I still remember in my adult life. There's a lot of things us adults don't remember what happened when we were kids, but there is some type of like scientifically proven thing of something that's super traumatic or maybe something that happened amazing, you remember. There's certain aspects of my parents' relationship that I definitely remember. Like my dad was the type of man to send my mom flowers at work for no reason. Wasn't her birthday, no Valentine's Day, no anniversary, just like had it delivered to her job on some really cute stuff. Or they would dance in the living room together. They just had a very loving like relationship. I know for sure that is the main reason I ended up leaving that last relationship, because it just got to a point where I'm paranoid about who he's around, him not texting back at night, what girls he's messed with, or the fact that he messed with multiple girls while we were together. Just all of that is a whole bunch of stuff. But just thinking of all of that, then really having to sit down and ask myself, is that as good as love can get? I came to the conclusion that no, it wasn't. That love could not be this complicated or this painful. I love the quote of basically saying like, can we normalize basically women being in relationships without the suffering that happens with it, like without kind of having to prove your loyalty, sticking by his side regardless of what he does, cheats, gets somebody else pregnant, just does you wrong and mean. That narrative needs to change, but we can't expect it to change from anybody else's hands other than our own. We are in control of our own lives, ladies. We gotta do better, man. We gotta do better. I want better for women, because we're amazing. As my best friend said in her lyrics, we as women are unrepeatable miracles, y'all. We gotta start carrying ourselves as such and understanding what our worth is. That's the problem, I think it honestly is. A lot of us women don't dig deep enough to realize what we really bring to the table for these niggas. Like, we are miracles walking into their lives and they wanna play us. Nah. That's why I'm just so like pro women empowerment. That's why I don't want this video at all to come off like I'm like bashing these women that are dealing with these dudes or accepting this. It's just more so like, girl, sis, I know you deserve better. I know you deserve better, because this shit, that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. At the end of the day, can't change the world, can't change everybody's perspective. I don't expect everybody to agree with me and stuff, but just know how I feel comes from a place of love and just wanting the best for all women, because I have been there. Like I said, I've been there and just in that place where it's just like, I can't find anybody else. What if nobody else wants me? What if this is as good as I'm ever gonna be treated, even though he treats me like shit? Like, that's the difference between a boy and a man, sis, and that's the tea. A lot of these people, or a lot of these guys that these women are dealing with are boys, and that's on period. But anyway, that is all I have for y'all. I can go on and on and on about this situation, but if any of you guys want to comment below, like maybe something you experienced, or maybe you have kind of experienced both sides. I'm hoping that you're on like the better side now, somebody who does deserve you, treats you like your worth and stuff like that. If you want to like comment that below, comment how you maybe shifted your mentality from being somebody that used to accept bullshit from people and now somebody who's like has the standards, boundaries, and expectations. Anybody crosses it, it's done. I really want to get that engine going for those who don't have that mentality just yet, because sis, when you get it, you thought you were powerful. Now, like, I don't think us women realize how powerful we are. Oh my goodness. Don't hesitate to comment below, anybody who has any perspective on the topic or whatever. I love reading you guys opinions and stuff, or experiences. So yeah, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did, and also if you want me to keep the late night event sessions going. And yeah, that is all I have for you guys. Really hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you are new, because Beauty Gang is clearly lit. And until next time, guys, bye. How you gonna pop up in here because you hear your name and you don't want to say hello? Say hello,
What's up,
handsome.
niggas? Man, dang, she like this so caught up.
It's a serious talk right now. We are talking about how girls need to stand their ground and don't accept nothing less than what they deserve. Thank you. Okay, I'm in a mode. I ain't got time for all of this.
Stand your ground.
I'm standing my ground.
Stand it, baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just standing all over the place.
Yeah.
Just standing over here, standing over here, standing over there. Just standing your ground.
Okay, love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Love you.
Bye, babe.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm taking
On this list it says
I'm taking
respect
it away.
me when I'm working. Actually, I need to add that. It's not on here.
Move your body cause you're loving the way that you walk. Move your body if you're loving the way that you talk. One time if you're confident. Clap 2 times cause you own me. Never gave a damn about what they say. Cause you handle all your business on a day by day. Head high, chest up and catch that frame. Cause beauty is your name.